Hello! This video is to go over how to create a Digioh post-checkout survey in Shopify. The first step is to install Digioh on your site. Help can be found at our website at help.digioh.com under the Installing Digioh section. The next step is to create your survey in Digioh. To do this, select Create a New Box, and then select Get Feedback Survey from the options. Next, select your type of survey. We suggest either Lightbox or Inline. Lightbox will overtake the screen in a set amount of seconds after the user arrives at the checkout confirmation page. And Inline will be there on page load at the checkout confirmation page in the design of the page itself. Next, choose a theme. We will use a theme for this example, but the methods can be applied to any of these themes. Next, name your survey and give it a description. Then your survey will be made and you can view it in the editor. The next step is to configure your survey buttons. When the user inputs information by giving an answer, we want to send that answer so that you can track it. In this step, we will decide what we will call those answers so that they can be tracked, and we will configure them in the editor. In the editor, select the button that you would like to configure. In this example, we are about to start with Great, so we will go to the button data action and select a custom field. If only one answer is being selected, the custom field for the question should be the same for every answer. Then put the value, in this case checkout Great, and the next button we will do checkout Good. We are using consistent naming conventions to make it clear what is being answered. To review, you want to select the button that you want to configure, navigate to the Button Data Action section, select the custom field you want to use, and add a label. Please name them consistently. Complete all your answers and save your work. If you have a multiple page survey, you will also need to complete the other pages. We find that saving between pages mitigates the risk of losing work. While it's not necessary and you can save after doing multiple pages worth of work, we have found that it is a very helpful method to maintain work that you've already done. Next, you will configure a submission button. In the example we just showed, the buttons themselves are the submission buttons, so we will go over that first. When the buttons themselves are submitting the answers, we want to go to the Form tab, and we want to select After Form Submit to show whatever page is the next page, and to make sure that the form is submitting the form and running integrations. Then we go to each button, select it, change the click action to Submit Form, and the Do Not Override Form action should be Do Not Override. Sometimes you'll have a Submit button that is separate from the answer buttons itself. This is a similar process. We want to configure the Submit button to submit the form and to not override the form. And then what we want to do is we want to set the form itself to submit the form and to go to the appropriate page. In this case, it will be the thank you page. And that will set up the Submit button to submit the answers given that were configured in the answer buttons. To review, the Form tab should submit the form and navigate to the appropriate next page. For answer buttons to submit, those buttons should be set to Submit Form and Do Not Override. For a specific Submit button to submit, that button should be set to Submit Form and Do Not Override. And remember to save your work. The next step is to set up conditions on your survey. Conditions will show you and tell you where the survey will show. This will be slightly different for Inline and Lightbox. We'll start with the Lightbox. For both options, we will need to find our checkout confirmation page path. We do this by going to your Shopify checkout confirmation page. The page path is whatever is after your store domain. So for instance, yourstore.com/US pages checkout confirmation page would have a path of /US pages checkout confirmation page, including the slashes. Next, we will set the rules by going to your account and clicking Edit in the Conditions column of your survey. The first rule is going to be current URL path contains. This can be found by going under the properties under the URL section. And after you have the rule set up to current URL path contains, you will want to paste in the path that we copied last step. The next rule for a lightbox will be to have it show 10 seconds after the user's been on the page. So we will use a popular rule that is total seconds on page and make it greater than 10. Finally, we will add a test query string to the lightbox to keep it from showing live until we are ready, and to have a query string that we can use to test it even when it is not live. For more information on query strings, please see our help docs at help.digioh.com. For an inline, you will also need to add a smart tag to your Shopify checkout confirmation page. We start by going to the editor, to the widget tab, and copying the smart tag HTML. While you're here, you may notice there's a loading placeholder image option. This is for any users that may be in a location that has a slow load time and allows you to put a GIF or image at the loading site of the survey so that the users know that something is indeed loading and is worth the wait. Next, we want to add the smart tag we copied into Shopify. In your Shopify store, you want to go to your admin panel and go to the online store section. Click themes and go to your current theme. Go to the actions dropdown and click edit code, and when you get to the edit code section, choose checkout. That is where your HTML will be, and you can add the smart tag HTML wherever the survey should show on the page. Make sure to save your theme. The next step before we set the survey live is to configure where to send the customer responses. In this example, we are sending the responses to Google Analytics. The first step is to grant analytics at digioh.com access in Google Analytics. You can follow these steps found at the source listed on the screen. In your Google Analytics, go to Admin and go to Access Management. In the Account Properties Permission list, find the plus sign and then click Add Users. Enter analytics at digioh.com and make sure to select to notify new users by email so that we can know when this permission has been granted, and then click Add. Next, you want to link your Google Analytics and Digioh accounts by going to your account name menu at the top right part of your Digioh account and go to GA integration. There you will see the option to connect your Google account. You are now connected and ready to track user responses in your Google Analytics. If you have anywhere else you would like to send your data, or if you would like help setting up any custom tracking in Google Analytics, please reach out at contact@digioh.com. If you have an integration you'd like to use, for instance, if you're sending it to an email or SMS platform, feel free to check out our documentation at help.digioh.com. Next, we are setting our survey live. To do this, we will go to the conditions and remove the forced block condition and save and publish. Finally, we will go to the eligible column and we will toggle live. You can then go to your checkout confirmation page and see your post-checkout survey. Remember, if it's a lightbox, you'll have to wait the number of seconds that are set in the conditions to see it. Thank you so much, and I wish you the best of luck with all of your post-checkout surveys.